Afternoon, and thank you for joining us today on the Kids History Channel. I'm your host, Kristen Collins, and as always, I'm excited to bring history to life to our audience and viewers. As the Europeans began to expand their empires and trade routes, they found a new world as they explored the Americas. The New World was, in a sense, a European invention. As these explorers searched for new ways to reach the Far East, they stumbled upon native peoples such as the Maya, the Incas, and the Aztecs. They were not aware that this part of the world existed, which meant they also had no knowledge that these civilizations had existed for centuries. Today's panel of expert historians will tell us about the history, geography, culture, and contributions of these civilizations. They're fifth graders at Berlin Memorial School here in Berlin, Massachusetts. I'd like to welcome our panel of experts who will share their knowledge about the Aztec civilization.
Hello, my name is Emily and I'm one of your hosts for National Geographic. Have you ever thought what it was like to eat bizarre foods or sell pottery and trade jaguar skins? What about working hours on edge in a field? That's what the Aztec economics includes. So different from today, right? An Aztec merchant was called a pochtica. Pochticas sold exotic goods including cocoa beans, jaguar skins, and feathers. Aztecs didn't pay with money. They would trade a good to get another good. Like if your mom needed sugar and your neighbor needed flour, your mom would trade flour to get the sugar she needed. The Aztecs had lots of products that they made and grew. They sold amazing pottery, jewelry, featherwork, weavings, and food. They sold them at a market, and the market was always full of people. They also had really bizarre foods. They enjoyed corn, frogs, hairless dogs, fly larvae, insect eggs, tomatoes, chili peppers, and tortillas. Tomatoes, chilies, rabbit, deer, and turkey were eaten, as was a breed of hairless dog, from Saunders, page 26. The Aztec people had few jobs. They were also not allowed to choose their jobs. The husband worked as a farmer, craftsman, or warrior. The wife would work in the domicile, and the children would go to school. Before we move on to the next Aztec topic, remember, the next time that you buy a chocolate bar for $2, that if you're an Aztec person, you would probably be trading it with a nice piece of pottery.
Hi, I'm Elise, another one of your hosts for the Children's History Channel. Have you ever wondered what it's like to be scared of your gods? Well, that's what the Aztecs had to go through. The Aztecs feared many gods because of their abilities. Most of the gods they feared caused natural disasters. The god of rain, thunder, and lightning, along with the god of sun and war, symbolized many natural forces. They also thought that their good gods, to stay alive and well, they had to sacrifice someone. The rituals of the Aztecs were no different. Not all ceremonies held by the Aztecs included human sacrifice, but most did. Some priests and laymen would cut themselves and offer their blood to the gods. Though they sacrificed mostly humans, some small birds and other animals were sacrificed as well. The Aztec religion is the Mesoamerican religion of the Aztecs. Like other Mesoamerican religions, it had elements of human sacrifice in connection with a large number of religious festivals, which were held according to patterns in the Aztec calendar, from Wikipedia. Before we move back to the next topic, be thankful you don't have to sacrifice your life for your gods.
My name is Megan, and I'm going to tell you about the artwork of the Aztec people. Art was an important part of Aztec life. They used some forms of art such as music, poetry, and sculpture to honor and praise their gods. Other forms of art such as jewelry and featherwork worn by the Aztecs, an ability to set them apart from the commoners. The pictures on the slide show some examples of their artwork. I hope you enjoyed learning about the unique artwork of the Aztecs.
Hello, my name is Tyler and I'm another host on the Kids History Channel. Have you ever loved waking up early in the morning? Well, the Aztecs had to, but they didn't like it. Family life was very important to the Aztecs. Aztec daily life was quite simple. The Aztec daily life was like our life now. Parents had a hard job at the time. The dad had to work around the house and do farming. The mother had a hard job too. The mom had to take care of the house and raise the children. Their houses were made out of stone and fairly large. Children went to school to get educated. Remember, the next time you wake up very early in the morning and work around the house or in your yard, you would have some idea of what it was like to be an Aztec. If you are a child and you're going to school, you'll also be living like an Aztec.
Hi, I'm Michael. The Aztecs took credit for many inventions such as chocolate, medicine, and the calendar. The Aztecs used the cocoa bean to make bitter water. This hot chocolate beverage was popular with the upper class. Also, some herbal treatments that people use today to cure illness date back to the Aztec Empire. Finally, the time was measured by the Aztecs through a calendar wheel. The Aztecs used several calendars, but one of them used several of 365 days in a year. Thank you for listening today.
Hello, my name is Joe, and I am a 5th grader at BMS like everybody else here, and I go to the same school. Aztec geography is unique and different than the Mayans, Incans, or any other civilization that you may know of. They're unique because they have flat tops. You may find some that have cone shape like at the tops, but that's very few of them have the small cone shapes. The most populated city was Tenochtitlan, and it could hold about 200,000 people at once. The island itself was called Texcoco, which is off of Mexico. Within that city was the Great Temple of Gods, aka the House of Gods, which is where they would sacrifice fellow Aztecs for their gods. If you were to go there today, you would find dried up blood because they would never clean it up, which is disgusting. Another pyramid or structure, which is not on the island, it's on the main part of Mexico, which is now Tenochtitlan, which is flat like most of the other ones, and I am not sure of the purpose that they used it for. I think it was another pyramid for the gods, or maybe like a meetup house or for the government council. I'm not sure. So in conclusion, the gods is the main reason of their structures and why they would build it. Don't sacrifice people there because you'll get serial killer and go to jail.
Hi, my name is Brennan Lee, and I'm a 5th grader at BMS. The daily lifestyle of the Aztec was hard depending on your wealth status. If you were noble or wealthy, daily life was easy for you. However, if you were common or not wealthy, daily life was hard. Would you have survived the daily life? Family life was very important to the Aztecs. For common people, the whole family had 1 or 2 jobs. The father worked outside as warrior, craftsman, or a farmer. The mother worked at home cooking for the family or weaving clothes. And the kids attended school or helped out around the house. Aztec clothes aren't anything like what we have today. The common people wore loose clothes that were made out of fiber that came from a magway plant. The nobles wore jewels and feathers. The homes of nobles were better than the common people. The nobles lived in big houses with many rooms and gardens. The common people lived in smaller homes called huts with only 1 or 2 rooms. The Aztecs' main food was maize, which is like corn. They also ate other things like beans, squash, cocoa beans, fish, honey, insects, snakes, and even dogs. Could you imagine eating a dog? I know what you're thinking. Gross. Marriage for the Aztecs was something very different than what it's like today. Men got married around the age of 20, and they did not pick who they wanted to marry. A matchmaker did. Both families had to agree. Then the man and woman got married. Now you know what it would be like to be an Aztec back then. Would you like to be an Aztec? I'm guessing not.
Hello, I'm happy to be here today. My name is Allie. I'm a 5th grader here at BMS. Do you like different types of art? Have you wondered how art was different back in the time of the Aztecs? Well, some of the Aztec art is extraordinary. Some of their arts are music, sculpting, pottery, and poetry. The Aztecs used many different types of rocks, such as granite. The Aztecs used the rocks to make big or small pieces of art. Pottery is the Aztecs' highest form of art. The Aztecs made lots and lots of poems. One of their poems is about fishing. Well, let me tell you. Help me, white spirit, not soon here. You will embrace the red chickmate. In my calling just one, indeed all of them I call, the child fish, the man fish, and the woman fish, dwellers of meanders. Music is one of the Aztecs' remembrances. They used many different types of instruments such as flutes, shells, whistles, and drums. They played music for their gods. Pottery is made all around the world, but Aztec pottery is the most remarkable. At its peak, the city of Teotihuacan traded pottery to distant places. Aztec women made pottery for themselves around the house and also made ornaments to decorate their house. All of these types of art are important to the Aztec gods.
Hello, my name is Jack and I'm from Berlin Memorial School. Have you ever wondered if a tribe in Mexico had to make up their own language together? Well, the Aztecs did. The Aztecs spoke a very rare and uncommon language called Nahuatl that actually some of us speak today, but it's very rare. Their technology was very, very different too, and so was their writing. Let me tell you about the writing. The writing, they didn't have words to write. They used pictographs and glyphs, which are types of symbols. Their technology was very different from our technology now. They did not have iron or bronze to use to make weapons like we do today. They had to go out on their own and find chert or obsidian, which are two types of rocks. They also didn't have the machines we have today to make the weapons, so they had to hand make them. If there's one big tradition of the Aztecs, it would be calendars. Aztec calendars were a very big tradition to their tribe. They were very different from ours today. Ours have different pages for every month. They had a whole year on one piece of block that were made out of chert. The Aztecs pronounced the calendars named Tonopali. Tonopali was the Aztecs' way of saying day count. Thank you for your time.
It's a normal day and you're going outside to get some water. You see your neighbor screaming and crying as she's led up to the great temple to be sacrificed to the gods. Imagine if this happened on a daily basis. It's okay though, I never really liked the old hag anyways. Well, this was completely normal in the Aztec Empire. My name is Juliana, and I'm going to tell you about the Aztec religion. The Aztec religion was polytheistic, which means they had many different gods and goddesses. Huitzilopochtli was the most powerful god. He was the god of war and sacrifice. Another god was Quetzalcoatl, the god of learning and the wind. Every day in the great temple of Tenochtitlan, soldiers would find 6 people, often slaves, people who lost a game called Tlachtli, or criminals. They would bring them to the priest to be stabbed in the heart and give their hearts to the gods as a gift. It was considered a great honor. Thanks for listening to me talk about Aztec religion. Just remember, don't sacrifice innocent people, because if you did that today, you would be considered a serial killer.
Thank you for joining us for this portion of our show. When we come back, we will hear from our experts about the Inca civilization.
Have you ever wondered what it feels like to travel back in time? Well, that's what we'll be doing. Let's go 1 million years back in time to learn about the Incan government. I'm Uri and this the Kids History Channel. Incan government was made up of an emperor, high priest, and punishments. The emperor was first in command. He enforced the punishments. The high priest was second in command. He was in charge of the priests. The priest made sure the people followed the religion. The people had to pray to Inti, the god of the sun, and go to church. The punishments were brutal and sometimes led to death. If you steal, you get whipped. If you do worse, you get boulders thrown on your back. Before we go to the next topic, I thank you for tuning into my show. I want you to think about the ways you get punished and compare them to the Incan punishments.
Have you ever thought how different the daily life was back then when the Incans were alive compared to our daily life today? Well, that's what I'm going to be teaching you about today. Hi, my name is Brooke, and I'm one of your hosts today on Kids History Channel. The Incan men would wear tunics, which is a fancy word for a long shirt, and in the winter they would wear capes and ponchos. The women would wear long dresses in the winter. They would also wear capes and ponchos. Some of the food that the Incan people would eat, it was corn, potatoes, tomatoes, fried guinea pigs, and other crops they harvested. Some of the things that the Incans would make in art was pottery like bottles and jars. The Incans would live in simple room houses with roof made of woven grass. The base of the house was made of stone. Some houses were more spread apart and some houses were really close together. Before we move on, I would like you to remember that you should be thankful for your pets and food, because back then one Incan meal was fried guinea pigs.
Hello, my name is Marjorie. I am a 5th grader attending Berlin Memorial School. I am here at the Kids History Channel to inform you about my project. Did you know the Incas had a magnificent history in art? First, I need to build a mindset for you. The Incas did not have electricity or a big art room, so they had to use what they had and waste nothing. Art was an important part of the Inca Empire. The Incas took pride in their art. Inca art is best seen highly in polished metalwork, pottery, and all above textiles. One of the styles of art they crafted was pottery. They had an interesting way of making pottery. Without electricity, they had to hand carve their art. A common method of carving was to actually stuff animals and mold it in their works of art. Metalwork was important too. They honored their gods with their metalworks of art. They liked very bright, precious metals such as gold, silver, and bronze. The most beloved kind of art was textiles, such as quilts. Their quilts had intricate patterns and detailed designs. Sometimes their quilts told stories. The Incas valued their art, using it to honor their culture and pass on traditions. At last, I would like to thank you for watching my speech at the Kids History Channel. Next time you go to the art museum, think about the Incas' art.
Thank you for joining us for this portion of our segment. When we come back, we will hear from the Mayan civilization.
Hi, I'm a reporter from the National Geographic Kids Channel. My name is Anthony. Imagine walking 12 miles with 2 baskets on your head. It's hot, your legs are aching, you're hungry and thirsty. There are no cars or horses. That was common for the Mayans. Trade depended on geography and politics. The Mayans sold food and other basic supplies. Experts like me said trade had 3 levels: local, regional, and long distance. The local and regional were not as important. That's because they could reach them at a reasonable cost. One of the thousands of jobs is a pyramid temple building job. They did not have horses or planes or trains or cars. They would carry baskets on their head with food and other supplies in the basket. They would also put it on their backs or use canoes. Most of the products were made from bears and goats. Isn't that strange? Finally, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Remember that next time that you go to buy food, be thankful that you have a car and don't have to walk with baskets full of food on your head. That's what the Mayans did.
Welcome to the Kids History Channel. I'm Ty, and I'm going to take you on an exciting venture to the land of the Mayan. First, we will learn about their art. The Mayans would carve art in their walls in their homes. The Mayans also enjoyed entertainment. They sang and danced a lot. Finally, the Mayans played a game like basketball, throwing a ball into a ring. As I leave you today, I suggest you do your art on paper, not on your walls.
Imagine you and your family are poor. You steal some corn to survive, but you get caught. Would you choose jail time or take your chances on Volador? You would be tied by your ankles and spun around a pole 52 times. The laws were very harsh. The Mayans had a social hierarchy. At the highest were nobles, kings, and queens and royal family. In the middle were the middle class, where people worked for a living. The lowest class were the people who went to jail or slaves. The Mayans had a lot of people being killed because they had committed a crime like stealing. At last, my section had come to the end, so just remember, stealing things is illegal, but at least you would be serving jail time and not being spun by a pole.
Imagine yourself running through Lake Tuiscor from an alligator to get to your capital, Tenochtitlan. I'm your host, Brandon. I'm going to teach you all about Mayan geography. Their capital, Tenochtitlan, was built on a swampy Lake Tuiscor. Their buildings were very detailed like the Aztecs. Their capital, Tenochtitlan, had 500,000 people, and it was a very powerful city. Before I can include my info, I hope that you are not running through a lake from an alligator.
Welcome to National Geographic. I'm one of your hosts, Kate. Imagine you were a Mayan and you had an urgent message you had to send across the city. You would have to travel far to the other side and speak, or you would send a message using hieroglyphics, also known as glyphs. Hieroglyphics represent symbols, words, and objects. They used a dot for 1, a bar for 5, and a shelf or flower for 0. The numbers could be written horizontally or vertically. From Coulter, page 17. Animals that dwelled in the forest near the huge temples usually had their own hieroglyphic. Vases and art also had many hieroglyphics on them. They used a number of calendars to report religious ceremonies in time. Mayans thought that when a series of calendars ran out, the world would end. So when they found out that it didn't, they were super happy. Finally, I'd like to thank you for watching my short segment. Remember, next time you're calling someone, think about the Mayans and how they had to use hieroglyphics.
Hi, my name is Yoralisa. I am going to be a reporter on the National Geographic. But first, let me ask you a question. Have you ever thought of yourself or imagined walking back and forth from one place to another? Well, that's what the Mayans had to go through. Today, the world has changed from back then. It contains many things that weren't back then, but still some that were. They had many places to go, and it was harder for them to go from one place to another. But then they thought of some other things instead of going through the jungle. They called them Sakowabs, and it made it much easier. They had many things in regions that covered most of Mexico, Guatemala, states of Campeche, Tabasco, and Chiapas. And these were probably where most of them were, but some were in different places, like Mayapan, Uxmal, Coba, Caban, and Tulum. I'd finally like to thank you for all tuning in with me. But just remember, life is much different than how it was, and much easier than how it was with the Mayans, and they had it much harder than us.
Hi, my name is Oliver, and I go to BMS, and I'm in 5th grade. Have you ever wondered what the Mayans' writing and technology was like? The Mayans made a writing system that was called glyphs. Glyphs were used to represent a sound, word, or symbol. Astonishingly, 80% of the language is still understood today. They wrote about their history on pillars, walls, and big stone slabs. The Mayans used these systems to represent their numbers. Their numbers were dots and lines. They used something similar to add or subtract. They made a count system that was different from ours. It was round and had letters on it, and it was made out of clay. The early influences have a great day to today's modern world. Thank you for listening about the Mayan writing and science. Good and bye.
Hi, my name's Cameron and I'm a 5th grader at BMS. Have you ever wondered about the Mayan civilization and their gods? Well, if not, then you might learn a thing or two from this. First off, the Maya people believed in a large number of gods. The most important Maya god was Itzma. Itzma was worshipped because he was the ruler of heaven day and night. He was also the creator of the earth which the Mayan lived on. Chak was also a very important god. He was the god of rain and lightning. If the Maya people did not have rain, then they wouldn't be able to grow their crops for food. And if they didn't have food, then they wouldn't be able to live. Balan Zakab was another interesting Mayan god. He is the god of storms, wind, and fire. It is said that he brought a great flood to the Maya people when they angered him. His flood did a great amount of damage to the Mayan civilization. Kukulkan was another interesting Mayan god. Kukulkan was the primary god of the Itza people who came very late in the Mayan civilization. Another interesting fact about Kukulkan was that he was a snake god. To wrap it up, I hope you enjoyed taking in this knowledge I have shared with you. You should also be thankful that you aren't a Mayan. I hope you remember this information to share with your family and friends.
Hello, my name is Savannah. I am in 5th grade at BMS. Have you ever wondered about Mayan art is different from today's art? We know about the art of the Mayans through their pottery, architecture, sculptures, weaving, and paintings. Some kinds of pottery that the Mayans created were plate, bowls, cocoa cups, and serving plates. They decorated them with designs like spots, circles, wavy lines, and shapes that look like thorns. The Mayan knew how to build structures out of stone. They built tall pyramids, palaces, and temples. They also sculpted statues to honor kings and gods. We can still see them because they were sculpted out of stone and stucco. They created artistic clothing, for example. They made enormous headdresses using feathers for special occasions. They wove baskets to carry things around. On the inside of buildings, they painted murals of people. They also painted on their pottery they made. By looking at their art, you could tell that they were experts at art. I am so glad that I was here today to tell you about the Mayan art, which is unique. Mayans use the same patterns and styles, so it is easy to tell that it is theirs. Thank you for listening to my presentation about Mayan art.
Hi, my name is Colin Casperson from Brown Memorial School. I'm in 5th grade. Have you ever wondered what it'd be like if you lived in a one-room house made out of mud and straw? Well, if I could guess, probably not. That's why I'm here today. The Mayan civilization lived in the Yucatan Peninsula. It's on the eastern side of Mexico. The Mayans lived between the peninsula and central Mexico. It's pretty hot down there. That's why they made their houses out of mud. The mud cooled down the temperature in their rooms. Their roofs were made out of hay. They saw the land as a turtle's back, and they saw the sea as fairy water. There's also different types of cities in the Mayan tribe. Each city has 6 pyramids. The main pyramid for each city is the one that the king lives in. The largest pyramid of the Mayan tribe is called Temple 16 and is 230 feet high. Every year the population expands. Every time the Mayans won a war, they take the remains of their enemies and make them slaves. Also, kids are being made too, but let's not get into that stuff. The ruler would run each city. Their life was much more comfortable than all the other Mayans. To sum it up, the Mayan civilization was pretty hot. Get it? They lived in Mexico and it's hot down there. I crack myself up.
Hi, my name is Alexis, and I'm a student here at BMS. Have you ever wondered what it would be like when the Mayan were alive? It was actually pretty cool. Did you know that you can learn a lot about the Mayan economics through their agriculture? They burned down forests to clear it to use the ash as fertilizer. Not only that, they also used the alternating crops from season to season to improve the soil, and to let the soil sit for a season. As the population grew, they needed to grow more crops, so they irrigated the soil and composted for better fertilizer. The Mayan people traded goods such as food and basic supplies. The Mayan people also went far distances to trade exotic items. I hope you enjoyed watching me and my friends teach you more about the Mayans.
Thank you for joining us for this portion of our show. When we come back, we will hear from our experts about the Inca civilization.
Hello, my name is Declan Dunham. I'm a 5th grader at Berlin Memorial School, and today we're going to be talking about the Incan daily life. Have you ever wondered what the Incans did in their daily life or spare time? Well, they had 4 main branches in their social pyramid, which were the Sapa Inca, royals, nobles, and upper class. The upper class and royals lived in special cities. Only them and people noble to them were allowed to live in. The Incas were very hard workers, so on their non-work days, they had religious festivals funded by the government. The government funded these events to make their people more loyal and to boost morale. The Incas lived mostly on hills and mountains. Most Incan families lived in a building in a mountain. The Incans raised llamas for transportation and food. They hunted small animals such as ducks and marmots. They grew vegetables such as corn, beans, and a root-like vegetable. Thank you for my time today. And remember, they shaped the world we see today. But remember, it's always a good day to have a good day.
Hello, my name is Parker Williams. I'm a 5th grader at BMS like everyone else here. Today I'm going to be talking about the Incan inventions. I hope you like it and stay tuned. First off, we're going to be talking about the Incan clothes and then moving down to the Incan calendar. I hope you like it. Clothing. Many Incan clothing included many features that took hard work and a lot of time. People that were willing to do it to get paid actually wanted to do it. Their shoe style was only sandals due to the hot weather. They also wore hats with a fuzzy chin band that were made out of alpaca. They wore rough sculpted gold earrings, young and old. Calendars. Incas used their 365-day calendars to mostly focus on their daily life and their daily chores. They were used for economic activities such as mining, agriculture, warfare, and construction. They were made out of alpaca and llama shavings. They were spun and colored for affection. And in conclusion, I hope you enjoyed the time I could spend with you today by providing you historical information about the Incan inventions. Thank you for attending, and stay tuned for more.
Hi, my name is Tyler. Have you ever wondered what it would be like if you had to sell the products you made at your job? Well then, let me tell you about the Incans' economy. I bet you're wondering what an economy is. An economy is what produces goods and services. Goods are things you made and sold. Services are things you would do for someone. One of these things would be slavery. After the Incans took over another place and/or village, they would use the people as slaves to do work for them. Another part of the economy is how society manages its resources. Jobs were very important to the Incans. Some of these jobs were farming, cooking, raising animals, and making clothing. If they didn't have jobs, they wouldn't have made products for trades. For this reason, many people had jobs. The Inca people mostly worked on farms. If you worked on a farm, cooked, raised animals, or made clothing, as I said earlier, you would create products. Some of these products were from slaughtered llamas. Slaughtered llamas gave the products of wool, meat, and hides. If you worked on a farm, some of these products would be corn, bean, and potatoes. These products created trades. The trades made the Inca people make money to let them keep doing their jobs to make even more products. Some of the trades they made were mostly agricultural and handmade items that were woven with beautiful and exquisite patterns. When the Inca trade, they either got gold or other products like beans, meat, food, and clothing. Most of the Incans traded with each other. I hope you've enjoyed learning about the Incan economy. Thank you. I have enjoyed my time here. Always remember, just like Audrey Hepburn said, nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible.
Hello, my name is Luke. Oh, and ladies, I'm available. Have your parents ever made you sit out of a game or given you some sort of punishment?
If so, I bet it was nothing compared to what the Incas did. Today I will teach you about the Incan government. First is punishments. The Incas had very harsh punishments. If you were caught stealing, your hands and feet would be cut off. Next is polytheism. If you don't know what that is, it's when a tribe or community has multiple gods. There is also monotheism, which is one god, like most religions today. The Inca government had one person in charge. This person was called Sapa Inca. This person and their family were all treated like royalty. They were basically in charge of them and got to wear lots of jewelry. That's all from me, and I'll see you all next time.
I thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed our program and hope you learned a lot about the ancient civilizations.